Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. You're listening to our Dungeons and Dragons game, and as always, I'm your host, the Dungeon Master, or DM for short. The prologue to this one, I hope I can explain it. It's a little confusing. So Arthur is being questioned by the authorities for the murder of Ostler Gundagoot, and he couldn't have done it because he was with Ostler's daughters. And the authorities basically say he's a suspect because he had the motive because of his connection with the daughters. Arthur, who, by the way, is rolling a d10 and, using charisma and stuff to persuade the authorities that it wasn't him, basically says, either I was with the girls or I wasn't. If I was with the girls, I didn't do it. If I wasn't with the girls, then I shouldn't be a suspect. And that works. They end up releasing him. That's how he gets out of it. So then we get into the plot. And Arthur, Baraduna, Cobort, and Taruka return to the Moathouse. They cross the drawbridge and enter the courtyard, where they park their pimped out wagon. They tie the giant lizard up to some rubble and then go up the staircase, which leads to the house portion of the fortress. From there, they enter the black chamber where they killed the brigands. They open the secret door and go downstairs. At the bottom of the stairs, two nauseous blobs of green slime have been carefully placed and fed in a position over the central arc at the base of the stairway. Cobort the fighter descends the stairs and walks under the archway, causing the two slimes to dislodge themselves and fall squarely on him. It's like having acid dumped on you. Cobort nearly dies. The party kills the slimes. The room contains no treasure. A few torn sacks, broken barrels, and shattered weapons racks show that this large area was once a storage place and armory for the fortress. Great heaps of worthless rubble and broken containers and furniture are at the western end of the room, all obviously junk, but concealing the doors to rooms 19 and 20. The adventurers search the room and find the door to room 19. The lock of this portal is secured, obviously new, and well oiled. Taruko has leveled up and is multi-classing now in Monk and Rogue. So he picks the lock. Inside the room are 30 shields, 12 suits of leather armor, and several barrels. Most of the latter contain salted meat, but two in the rear are 5-gallon kegs of an average brandy worth 80 gold pieces each. The adventurers find the door to room 20. This portal is also locked. Behind it are 50 spears, 10 glaives, 6 polearms, 3 battle axes, 70 black capes, each with a yellow eye of fire sewed on the center, more containers of provisions, a crate of 120 arrows, and a crate of 200 crossbow bolts. The next area is a corridor in cells. 2 zombies are hiding behind the northmost pillar at the end of the hall. They move to attack the adventurers approaching the entrance to the area. One round after they are seen, another pair of zombies appears from the southmost cubicle, nearest the stairs. They attack the party from the rear. Each of the remaining cubicles also contains 2 zombies, and one pair enters the engagement each round, 12 zombies in all. They corner the party and attack until slain. Everybody but Arthur is bitten, and Cobort dies. The zombies have no treasure, but a 500 gold piece gem was hidden behind a loose stone in the northernmost cell. The adventurers enter the next room. At first glance, this place seems to be long abandoned. Dust, dirt, and cobwebs abound. Arthur carefully peruses the torture chamber, however, and notices that several of the skeletons in the place are not old at all. He also notices that some of the instruments and mechanisms have been used very recently. By carefully inspecting the floor, he sees some drops of blood. The blood trail leads south. It was caused by a sloppy ghoul. Arthur detects a secret door in the pillar. Inside the pillar is a shaft some 30 feet deep with iron rungs set into the stonework for easy descent. The rungs are obviously used with some frequency. From there, the party enters a littered storeroom. The mess of filth and broken junk is utterly unremarkable. The adventurers then enter a large room. Lubbish, an ogre, has been lured here and into service by baubles and the promise of fresh human meat. He immediately attacks the party, since they do not wear the symbol of the new master, the yellow eye on fire, and they kill him in self-defense. The ogre had a heap of old clothing and skins for a bed, and a large wooden chest for his treasures. Worthless glass, beads, brass candlesticks, and other trash. 823 copper pieces, 46 silver pieces, and 3 gold pieces. However, by some trick of fate, a small-sized elven cloak is intermixed with the old carpeting and rags of his bedding. Next, the party encounters a heavily barred oak door. This is the grisly pantry of Lubbish the Ogre. It currently houses a pair of humans who've undergone only mild torture, plus a badly beaten gnome upon whom Lubbish intended to soon dine. A mere snack and tough, but a nice change nonetheless. When rescued, the humans claim to be merchants, and they both promise large rewards for their release, vowing to send the money to Hamlet as soon as they return to their home in Divers. The gnome was caught spying on some gnolls, and he too asks to be freed, giving a plain iron ring to whoever agrees. This ring is recognized 70% of the time by gnomes within 100 miles of the area as a sign that the bearer is an ally, thus making it 25% more probable that they'll be friendly and helpful. The party does not notice that a huge iron grate is above at this point in the corridor. They trigger it by trying to open a false door. Luckily, they then find a secret door that leads to a winch, which is used to haul the grate back up. The next area is the lair of 6 bugbears, who have recently been recruited by the new master. The adventurers kill them. Each has 12 gold pieces. The leader wears a bracelet, which is actually a silver necklace worth 450 gold pieces, set with 4 small gems worth 50 gold pieces each, and one of larger size worth 100 gold pieces. The next area is an odd side room. Herein is the lair of 9 gnolls, recruited by the new master. They attack the party, fighting fiercely and to the death. Each gnoll has 3d6 silver pieces and 3d6 copper pieces as well. The leader has 11 gold pieces and a pretty lump of blue quartz worth 10 gold pieces. The next area is Arthur's favorite room, the pool. When the dungeons were dug, this natural pool of water was found. As it is considerably below floor level, the area was dug lower and the entrance to the pool enlarged. Some connection to an underground stream exists. For some time ago, a giant crayfish took the pool as its own. It now disputes with any creature entering, hoping to make a meal in the bargain. The monster has been fairly successful, and there are bones that litter the pool and the area around it. Arthur changes into his werebear form, drags it out and kills it and eats it. Near the northeast edge of the pool are 17 copper pieces, 30 silver pieces, 19 gold pieces, and a normal longsword. In the water on a ledge is a platinum pin set with a smallish ruby worth 2,000 gold pieces, and a bone tube. The pin is under a skull, and the tube rests under some bones. The tube is watertight and contains a scroll of 3 magic user spells: Push, Stinking Cloud, and Fly. The next area is the burial crypts. The builders of the dungeon planned for a long tenancy, though their expectations were not met. Most of the niches are empty, but a few contain splintered coffins, wrappings, and gnawed and split bones, a sure sign that not all is well. Squatting in the north end of the room are four ghouls, who attack as soon as they see the adventurers. These creatures get corpses to eat from the master, and sometimes even prey on those not yet dead, so they can have some sport before dining. They have no treasure here. The back of the crypt is broken out, leading to an earth tunnel, which is foul and damp and only about 5 feet high. The tunnel leads to a noisome den where a heap of bones and skulls indicates the ghoul's nest. Their treasure is scattered in the mess: 800 silver pieces, 7 vials of holy water, a potion of undead control, and a scroll of protection from undead. A trail of gold pieces, 1d4 per 10 feet of tunnel, begins here, leading generally eastward. Mapping isn't possible. After about 30 feet of travel, the trail of gold ends. Then the party comes to a passageway. The corridor here begins to slant gradually upwards, and a slight breeze can be felt after 100 feet beyond the edge of the map. After another 300 feet, the tunnel ends in a narrow opening amidst rocks, thick briars, and brambles into the open air. The party heads back and enters Area 33. Here they find guards, garbed all in black, with gold eyes of fire embroidered upon their tunics and cloaks. These humans are the alert and fearless guards of the new master. When attacked, a guard sends up a low, hooting sound while engaging. This brings the others, plus 6 more guards with spears, and their sergeant. The adventurers attack them. When the guards start to lose, they start howling. This brings all guards into the area, and the master as well. Each guardsman has 2d4 silver pieces, 1d4 plus 1 gold pieces, and 1d4 platinum pieces. The sergeant has double those amounts of coin and wears a gold neck chain of office, worth 50 gold. Also here is the new master's lieutenant, a quote-unquote evil hero. He stays near the liege lord always and will accompany him wherever he goes. And that new master is Lareth. He aids his guards melee with his spells, keeping a defensive posture while commanding his troops' attacks. Arthur makes a called shot to Lareth's throat with Excalibur, a +5 sword of sharpness. Arthur succeeds, taking away Lareth's ability to speak. Unable to say his magic words, Lareth wields a mace in his left hand and a staff of striking in his right, but it can't hurt Arthur, who's still got Excalibur's scabbard. The mute Lareth tries to beg for his life, but Arthur kills him. In the 20-foot by 40-foot room to the northeast are supplies: salted meat, weak wine in a barrel, water, hard biscuits, dried fruit, and so forth. There are also mounds of fresh rushes and grass as bedding for the 2 light war horses stabled at the north end of the place. Saddles, tack, and a lance are nearby. The lieutenant has 29 gems in his purse, each worth 100 gold pieces. 3 amethysts, 8 pieces of fine coral, 9 red garnets, 6 pearls, and 3 tourmalines. And he wears a platinum chain of office worth 1,000 gold pieces, in which a topaz worth 500 gold pieces is prominently set. The master's chamber is lavishly furnished, with thick rugs, wall hangings, and soft chairs, couch, and cushions. Wines, liquors, and dishes of sweetmeats abound. A brazier continually burns, warming the place and sending a fragrant incense into the air. Silver serving pieces and goblets, worth 4,000 gold for all, and an alabaster box filled with unguents, total value 800 gold, are in plain sight. Hidden in a cabinet is an exquisite piece of jewelry, made with matched fire opals, 10 gems worth 1,000 gold each. on a gold chain in settings with diamond chips, worth 5,000 gold pieces. The adventurers take a rest for 8 hours and then load all the loot into their modified wagon and head back to town. Then we get into the epilogue. Lareth the Beautiful was the dark hope of chaotic evil. Young, handsome, well endowed in abilities and aptitudes, thoroughly wicked, depraved, and capricious. He was sent to this area to rebuild a force of men and humanoid fighters to gather loot and restore the Temple of Elemental Evil to its former glory. He was but one of many so charged, of course, but was looked upon with special favor and expectation. He and his minions were careful to raid far from this area, never nearer than 3 or 4 leagues, traveling on foot or riding in wagons of the traders from Hamlet. None of the victims were ever left alive to tell the tale, and mysterious disappearances are all that can be remarked upon. Once Lareth is slain, there are cautious and discreet inquiries in Hamlet, as the servants of evil therein make every attempt to find out what happened. A sexy raven-haired assassin of 10th level comes to the village in 5d4 days to eliminate Arthur. Her name is Celine. She seduces Arthur and takes him to bed. He takes off his clothing, including the scabbard of Excalibur. In the middle of sex, Celine plunges a cold iron dagger into Arthur's heart, killing him. And that's it for this one. I hope that you enjoyed the story. If so, be sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, leave us a comment, all that jazz, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.